Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Now, today is February 23rd, 2024, just one day before the full moon. So, you know what time it is. I'm going to do the full moon message first, and then I will timestamp that as well as the full moon reading, which will follow. Okay, so without further ado, we'll jump right into it. This is the full moon in Virgo message. Okay, so full moon in Virgo is happening tomorrow, February 24th, 2024. Get into that date, okay? At 7:30 a.m. about Eastern time-ish. Yeah, so, govern yourselves according to your coast. But just quickly, just the date itself is loaded because that's 8 2s. And we're in the year of 8 with it being 2024. So not only did we just have the 222 portal yesterday, which was pretty intensified. Even energetically, I think I made mention to there being solar flares, if not in that message the day before that. And I didn't really even know that was happening that particular day. So that's the intensity there that's happening in real time. But 2/24/2024 is a very potently packed number if you can get into it. So we're doubling up on a new beginning by way of releasing through this moon. So this moon is the snow moon, and it's also the last full moon of the winter. So again, endings for new beginnings. It's given 6th house vibes, which focuses on our routines, our habits, and rituals. Self-care is also highly considerable in this house, given it's commonly known as the house of health, quite literally concerning the wellness of the body. Virgo is an earth sign. This full moon, saturated in Pisces season, can help make sense of our dreams and deep desires, as we're encouraged to release habits that may actually work against them. That subsequently prepares us to commit to behaviors and routines that ultimately become a lifestyle. It's the matter of living the dream in spirit and in flesh. To perceive the most desirable outcome, to conceive the personal character of that living narrative, and to devote self to activity in that alignment is the real magic of manifestation, the hocus pocus of humanity, if you will. This moon motivates a balance between logic and intuition as we crystallize dreams into concrete realities. You can have it all, whatever all, AWE, is to you. Perhaps less is more, considering what could be released for the ultimate increase. Spiritual and physical satisfaction is the holy grail of God's grace. Now, as above, so below, there are additional elements to consider. The full moon will oppose Mercury and Saturn, which are both in Pisces, and it will be in harmonious aspect with Jupiter and Taurus. Now, Pisces can prompt a plunge into deep feelings, but Mercury and Saturn, positioned as they are, may impose a bit of a reluctance to share openly. Jupiter in the mix, intensifying all elements as it does, could infuse passion pressure points internally and or in relationships. So this is best managed by trust and patience, or in a tarot card, temperance. Self-control is key. It's generally unproductive to repress your feelings and emotions. although it is wise to share responsibly, dare I say gracefully, if at all. The greatest impact of change at this time, and perhaps timelessly, is to focus on self and channel energy towards self-care and personal improvement. This Virgo full moon is like the intel of what's working for you and what is not. Whether it be people, places, or things, there's no time like the present to release, respectively. Being the change you wish to see is far more effective than demanding creation change for you. It may so happen that the former begots the latter anyway, yet you will have worked smarter, not harder, to manifest it to be so. Okay? So that is the full moon in Virgo message, and we're just going to zoom straight into the full moon in Virgo reading. All right, so let me cut the cards. Getting a little ahead of myself there. Slow down, sister. Slow down, sister. All righty. Speaking of Virgo, every time I'm in Virgo energy, I can't help but mention the quintessential Virgo, who is Beyonce, as a Virgo sun, who definitely is no stranger to hard work and dedication to the persona that, that is Queen Bee. She's built a legacy around that identity, and she follows up with the dedication, the devotion, the hard work, the study, the intensity toward everything that upholds that platform, whatever it may be. And now, I kind of really thought of her because I was kind of speaking with a country twang, and for whatever reason, I'm seeing her in a damn cowboy hat. And then when the country music came along, I was like, oh, okay, is that the reason for all the hats? I have listened to like a quick piece of Texas Hold'em through like YouTube clips of people dancing to it or whatever, doing, I guess, whatever the challenge is. But I can't quite vouch for any of the music in long form, or if the album is even out at this point to say. So I'm curious, but I gotta say I'm not engaged, to say it tastefully, gracefully. It's like, yeah, Texas, I get it. Something new, something different, totally with it. But I don't know. Even the hats feel a bit forced, if I'm being honest. But certainly, if anybody can forge into something new and make it make sense, Beyonce can. Even if it's foreign to everyone else, probably in another couple of months or so, everybody will be running around here in cowboy boots, even though I've been loving cowboy boots. So if you see me in a pair, don't even think that it has anything to do with that, but in cowboy boots and hats and everything else. So, side note. Anyway, let's see where we are with the reading today. There it is. New beginning, fresh start, in faith, packing light, not really knowing what to expect along the journey, not really caring too much. Maybe just as the rest of us, I'm certainly sure that nobody is exempt from the cosmic current. So it's just the wave of moving into fresh identity and being reborn to some degree, meaning what I'm saying about Beyonce. So even as it is for us, expressing ourselves in ways that maybe everybody is kind of scratching their head about or not quite connected to, or let's say embracing of initially, it shouldn't matter. If it feels good to you, then go for it. That's the type of season that we're in right now. Like, certainly, I mean, more or less it's kind of always been that way, but certainly not in, shouldn't be in a place at this time to be reluctant to do anything on account of who gets it and who doesn't, you know, for sure. So yeah, so to the point of my Beyonce opinion, who cares? Who cares what I think? This is you not caring what anybody has to say and just excited about something fresh in the horizon. Or it could be you. If anything, it could be an invitation for it to be you if it's not. But it's definitely somebody that's moving ahead, and it's the beginning of something new with the Fool card. That's the first card in the tarot deck, as a matter of fact. The Magician is the next one, the number 1. FYI. All right, let's see what else we got here. Hangman. Hangman. Let's see what's with the Hangman. Kind of feeling like moving that up next to the Fool. Maybe moving away from being stuck, waiting for a green light or waiting for an open door, waiting for enlightenment. Let's see, what's on the other side of the Hangman? Yeah, stuck in, this is what I saw, 7 of Cups. A little bit of an illusion or a haze, perhaps. So this would be the breakthrough of enlightenment here with the Hangman from that state. And maybe at some point just, oh, okay. Hold on here now. Okay. From maybe multiple, I just hear false starts with this 10 of Swords. I feel like this is like going backwards. Or speaking to me from right to left, I should say. Like this was a moment or multiple moments of destruction, sabotage that kept one stuck, quite honestly, always either in that place of confusion as it was in the 7 of Cups, or just always waiting for a fresh start, for a green light to start again, or for the energy even, you know, a renewed faith, renewed vitality. Yeah, it's like it's given being sacrificed over and over again with the 7 of Swords. I'm sorry, the 10 of Swords, but it's the end of that. This is what has happened. This was the energy that was like stagnant for a while or stuck at a certain point. And this is what gets to be now. Like this is new vitality here with the Fool card. Somebody's not stuck in betrayal anymore, or in self-sabotage even, like maybe perhaps even sabotaging yourself in some ways, like a self-fulfilling prophecy of projected what is this 10 of Swords? The energy I'm feeling is that, yeah, this is almost it's getting creepy now. It's mystical. I'm getting this energy of this is looking like almost like a voodoo doll with these 10 of swords like needles. So the projections of defeat became a self-fulfilling prophecy. It was being projected from an external force, but it was being like manifested from within the intended target. And that's how it was like a sacrifice over and over again. So that every time, and it's funny because I literally was just praying about this. So I that's why it's feeling so strong to me, even though like it's only 3 cards, but I feel it. But like every time you got struck down, somehow this is the resilience that you were always able to get back up again. No matter how hard the fall was at one point, at any point, you were able to regroup and get back up and start fresh. Sometimes that meant starting over from scratch. Sometimes that meant picking up where you left off. Sometimes that meant doing something completely out of the ordinary, different from anything you could have ever expected. But certainly always getting back up, which is why there was probably a need for so many swords, as in the 10, because the resilience and persistence, definitely giving Virgo energy to some degree too, was just indomitable. You wouldn't stay down. And with the 10, that means it's come to a close. I feel like that, yeah, like there's a lot that this moon is closing out indefinitely, or maybe I should say definitely. I never know which one I'm supposed to say. Maybe indefinitely, because you may not know the timing for sure, but it's certainly happening. And here's the 7 of Pentacles, the sowing, the persistent sowing, you know, and not always getting back what you thought you should have yielded for the labor that you invested, but continuing to sow nonetheless. Let's see. That was a Sun card peeking up at me. Let's see what else we got. It was almost a Hierophant peeking up at me. And there's the sabotage. Certain big time forces that were pitted against you with that Hierophant peeking out, trying to impede upon your vitality, your nourishment, the sun, which would nourish the crops to its magnification or multiplication, to be the life force behind your productivity. So it's like someone was being attacked in spirit and in truth, ultimately, because we know the sun is a spiritual entity, but it's also very physical, very actual. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as it was a projective spiritual force against you, it was also something quite practical and actual as well. Like, someone was working hard to create a win for them and a loss for you, whomever you may be. If it doesn't resonate, please definitely don't assume it to be so, but that was the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Swords. And there's the Sun, trying to block out the sun. That's what somebody was trying to do. Block happiness, block prosperity. If you don't have sun, not too many crops can grow without it. Not too many that are of high value anyway. And then, of course, the spiritual aspect of that, you know, peace and joy, love, even in the Sun card, wealth, fertility. Yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, that's what somebody was after. Let's see here. Oh, well, okay. There's the Tower, the King of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the King of Wands. Not really sure what that's given. Is this a face-off between two people? Or is this... It's given that this may have been the dismantling of a partnership between two people, because the Two of Wands is like a plan of action or direction. But the Tower is some destruction or dismantling. I'm gonna put this to the side, I think. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, 2 aces. A message about some creative new beginning or opportunity, and a love opportunity. And then the Moon card. So yeah, somebody was trying to block that out. That's what that was. Because the Page of Pentacles, or was trying to conceal that message, some information about power and love, passion and love. A dynamic duo indeed, right? And here's the Moon card, which would be the obscure against the exposed. So somebody wanted to keep some amazing opportunity. So that was the holding back, I suppose, that there were these opportunities for love and for creativity, maybe a job opportunity, maybe or to keep someone from growing into that potential of the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups, from connecting to that source. So that every time, so you continuously are sowing for a thing, but you're never seeing the pinnacle, you know, the true prize for your hard work. You keep getting knocked down before you can reach that pinnacle of success. Yeah. sun and the moon here, though. Okay. Queen of Wands and the 2 and the 6 of Cups. This is given attention, creative attention being conducted into partnerships or into, what is that? Especially given the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, like, first of all, look at how the Queen of Wands and the Queen of King of Wands, I'm sorry, are separated. Now, yes, I did that, but that's how I felt guided to do it. That they have been separated and their attention diverted. Like, maybe this is a diversion of opposition and battle, like conflict over here with the Tower card. This is like the Queen of Wands being diverted, like almost distracted with unfavorable relationships, or in the cycle of what do you call it, codependent relationships, neither of which is going to prosper the other to that pinnacle moment of success, whether it be with the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Cups. Yeah, something about diversion here and distraction. Maybe that being the method of the madness. And look at this cup drawing away from judgment. Oh, what's this? Is that something? Oh no, it is something. Yeah, like rejecting family, rejecting wise decisions, moving ahead in the opposite direction of better judgment, perhaps. Away from legacy, away from dynasty, that's being guided in a completely different direction by what? Virgo energy, the Hermit card, mastery, ascendant mastery, and maybe even ancestral guidance, spiritual guidance, supernatural support. It's like the legacy is being led in one direction, but someone's being finessed in another. Or the light of a legacy, like it's only one road, one pathway to the light of a legacy, meaning the legacy, living in its highest vitality, and that's here. But somebody either being resistant or feeling rejected from it. I feel like they have rejected it in some way against their better judgment, and they're going in a completely opposite direction with this Knight of Cups, offering to God knows what, on a mission to God knows where. What does that have to do with anything? Cards is just popping out, saying random shit. Now we got the Queen. Like, what is all these queens and kings, and what are we doing here? And here's another partnership. The Queen of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, and then the Five of Cups. Oh, so these are the energies of disturbances that are coming up. Like, here it is here, very plainly, distracted on two opposite sides, keeping from coming together. The past spread, what was that again? That was like a diversion also, with the legacy going in one direction, with a well-trusted energy in the Hermit card and a credible energy, versus going in another direction, like almost a split decision with the Judgment card and the Knight of Wands. Like, you're not going to, the Knight of Cups, you're not following the Knight of Cups over, pardon me, the Hermit card. That would be foolishness. And then here's another energy here where you got the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, but between them is this, what I sometimes like to call like this fake justice. It's not by itself, you know, in the upright, but for all intents and purposes of what I'm picking up here, it still feels like a bit of a diversion, like a facade. Someone in the middle deciding between the fate of a partnership, or creating enough of a distraction that they're on two different pages. Like, the Queen of Pentacles is over here tending to her pentacle, literally faced in another direction. The King of Pentacles is facing another direction. And on this side of him is actually some type of depression. And then you got this energy here, like almost kind of breadcrumbing or deciding, like, it's given that the rightful energy of a feminine and masculine, of course, is something very regal, but they're being treated like paupers by some other energy that's exalted itself to be empowered to decide what they're privy to. It's like being wealthy, like I said, fake justice. It's like, practically speaking, somebody withholding funds or withholding money or wealth or riches or even information in this regard, like giving you just a little bit, like, you get this much, you get this much. Somebody taking liberty to decide what you get to have of what is rightfully yours, with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Oh yeah, so this is probably talking more about the multiple tens of swords that are in the back of this sabotage and betrayal here. It's like coming up in multiple ways, because it's been happening in many ways with that 10. And this is yet another aspect of it, withholding financial resources, or yeah, for the most part, practically speaking. But again, it could be time, it could be energy or information, but for the outcome to be as such. Now, the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in the highest vibration shouldn't have any connection to depression or shame or guilt, unless they've done something unfavorable or unsavory to get their wealth. But in this regard, for me, it's looking like someone is not privy to their prosperity. It's like there's a disconnect here. And not just in a matter of the partnership itself, but individually, there is something being withheld, or something has been withheld, to keep from crossing over. This message is frustrating. Like, what are we talking about? especially given this new moon, I mean this full moon. Are these the things that are being, maybe the darkness that's being revealed or exposed that is ultimately maybe behind the scenes, unbeknownst to you? You know, here you are just living your best life because no matter what, okay, so maybe the certain things that have been happening, as I said, where you didn't really always have the why as to your shortcoming or your falling short or dead stop or whatever the issue may have been to cause you to be stuck and then have to start again, is being exposed. Somehow it's not only being exposed, it's being judged and it's being justified properly. And as it stands, like historically so, you're none the wiser either way, like actually more the wiser, because all you continue to do is just dust yourself off and try again, no matter what. So it's like you never really lost much in the grand scheme of things, because no matter what what crop you yielded, you always had the persistence to sow again. And that's ultimately what has afforded this opportunity to move ahead away from this cycle of, I don't even know what to call it, destruction or diversion, to more peaceful, calmer waters, so that you don't even have to think about what could be lurking around the river bend, because where you're headed is going to be consistently productive and prosperous, as long as you continue to be, in one way, shape, or form. In some way, shape, or form. What's that? King of Cups. Here's another king. And that's up under the Five of Swords. Yeah, look what he looking at. But also what he was probably, like, see, yet again, interference. It's been constant interference, trying to block this progressive movement to the promised land, whatever that looks like. But it happens anyway, you know. Under the Sun card, it happens anyway. It's a successful journey nonetheless. But some very high level, so-called high power energies have had a great stake in wanting to interfere with not just prosperity, but productivity. And that could be very, very intimately speaking, or universally so. What's that? Yeah. For their own self-gratification. Behind the scenes, behind the veil, in the dark. People getting off with being blockages and obstructions and like literally I can't create yet. Look at this once again, creating a struggle in a partnership that would be destined for legacy and true love. It's like, why is it coming up like this? This is so strange to me. There it is, to create imbalances, to be constantly obstructive to balance and harmony. Every time there is a balance, being the one to step in. Oh, as my lighting just changed. That was weird. And turn it upside down all over again. 10 of Swords. The difference between the 7 and the 10 that we started with is the 3. So to continuously inflict heartbreak, fear, and trauma over and over again, like almost to seek out circumstances that would be balanced and intentionally target those people, places, or things like an imp. Like, that's what it's given. Like, like what? Yeah. And it comes out again, Temperance. And yep. Here's the backfire, because no matter what, spiritual justice will be served. So peep this alignment here. We're trying to win at all costs. This is probably some type of emotional manipulation, psychological manipulation that backfires into the 9 of Swords from that 7 of Swords. Right back where it belongs. This again. And what's that? Back to the 7. The 6 and the 1 with the Queen is the 7. To dictate and again interfere with productivity and ultimately prosperity. To keep someone from knowing exactly how gifted and what's the right word? Like gifted, I hate to say prosperous again, but like somebody is the franchise, you know, but someone else wants to treat them like, I don't know, like like the help. Not even the help, like a peasant, like they need something. This is the codependency here that I'm speaking of. Like they need something to be great, not reflecting that, not wanting them to see their own reflection, that they are greatness personified. That's the difference between these two cards in the way that I'm talking about it. Like doing everything they possibly can to keep someone from seeing, like either seeing how powerful they are by way of their gifts and talents and things of that nature, or literally, as I said, withholding some physical financial abundance that would keep them from. Because I was thinking about that too. You know, I know what I'm feeling, but it's hard to say it because it's just kind of weird. I was kind of reflecting upon like different moments in the past couple of years of when I was quite up financially, and then, you know, the fluctuation, so to speak, even up until now. But this has been like the most dedicated I've been in a certain span of spirituality, my expression of it anyway, because there's been less distraction in this time frame, where I've allowed there to be anyway, less distraction that has made an impact on or an influence on my my devotion, to be expressive in the ways that I feel are prosperous and that have value, not just to me, but to whomever I get to serve. And I was reflecting like on different times, and at a one particular time when finances were not a thing, they weren't a thought, and I was thoughtful about how that directly impacted my spiritual influence as well. Like when you're not thinking about money, about how you're going to pay bills or not, or, you do things in a different type of, a different energy. Like everything is done prosperously. And that was a while ago, which I know it was quite necessary for me to experience those fluctuations so that, given Virgo energy, right, I could cultivate a habit of devotion and consistency and persistence and dedication no matter what, whether I'm up, whether I'm down. Like the external doesn't affect that, so that was the lesson for me. But this is someone that wants to continue. The funny thing is that they want to continue to interfere with that prosperous, what's the right word? Like a becoming of sorts, where clearly I'm just as valuable and more valuable internally than I have to show for at this moment. But there's also a great deal due to me on account of how I've been sowing. And these are energies that I know I'm not alone, that want to continue to interfere with the union of those realities. As kind of like in the message where I spoke about, the matters of your dreams and visions and desires crystallizing into concrete reality. Well, what aids that anything more than capital? It's like for some of us, that's the only thing holding back our dreams and desires and visions from crystallizing in the way that they've been primed and ready to do so for quite some time, but like I said, that spiritual lesson and maturation was far more important and vital to my progress and my prosperity, because it shifted my mindset and my habits as well. Like it shifted my entire lifestyle to be all in and centrally focused on what I have to cultivate internally, and then share. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything added unto that, wonderful, beautiful, amazing. But just being able to focus on exactly what I have to offer in the moment that I do, without any excuse otherwise. Not what bill needs to be paid, or having any anxieties about doing anything for the purposes of a bill or for the purposes of physical security or financial security or anything like that. Just focusing on the gift and, in a practical sense, the mission or purpose at hand. So where somebody got it effed up at, and that's the resilience that I was talking about, where somebody gets it effed up, is that in a small mind of dependency, and someone who sees uses codependency as a weapon or an intrusion, or at least a projection at the least, miscalculated the value that's been made aware and assumed within a person that really does, that is kind of like immune to this dynamic here at this point. Maybe once upon a time, as I said, certain times I could see the fluctuation in my devotion based on where I was financially, what I had to worry about and what I didn't. That's not a ruling dynamic anymore. So someone that continues to impose that as a projection is ultimately, finding themselves at a dead end or failure, because it doesn't have the same impact. And especially someone that thinks they're withholding something, like the longer they withhold your opportunities to advance, whether it be financially, passionately, creatively, emotionally, all of that good stuff, that the more depreciated in value you become. Oh yeah, that's been the ambition here, to constantly make an impression upon a person's self-worth. Perhaps yours, certainly mine, in my experience. But every single time that gets balanced out in the way that you submit yourself to the alchemy of source, allowing those fluctuations of life, those life lessons, to teach you something about yourself, and to be open enough to take that intel, those lessons, those receipts, and put them into practice, and that practice becoming a lifestyle, and so on and so forth. That's the magic of manifestation, that it never quite does get stiff or stagnant, because every single time that you so-called fall down or have a misstep, it's new information to how you get to move forward again, or not. A lot of opposition didn't really plan for that response, whether it be a defense or offensive one, because they don't think like that. The opposition doesn't think like that. They think about, they're ruled by the mentality of winning at all costs, and always needing to look and be, at least to look like they're on top, even if they actually aren't, but certainly wanted to feel or conceptualize in their mind the win that they were, seeking. But I'm talking to someone, especially if you're anything like me, that didn't mind taking a loss every now and again, and didn't see it as a loss. Maybe by societal standards or from the outside looking in, it may have looked like a downstep or misstep or downtrodden or just down altogether. But someone that is truly wise and, of a creative force, as would be the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, that's always looking to alchemize their passion, and the flame never dies out. You always find a new way to be reignited and to invest that energy in some productive manner, in the upright, of course, in the upright, which is hence the lead of the Fool, where everything is a new adventure or a new beginning every single time. Even when you just fell flat on your face, it's a thrill to get up again and see what the future holds. Not everybody operates like that, unfortunately. Everybody can, with some careful consideration of, who they're being and what they're doing, and yeah, like self-control, in a word, you know what I mean? Like really taking control over your creativity and not allowing someone else to control you for you, or some other thing, even the ideal of control itself, the concept of it, or the possession or obsession with it. This is literally being in control over your reality, your success, as it is what? A reflection and inflection of source and spirit and in truth. Not trying to dominate over someone else to then inflect a win for yourself. That's not true control or power. Those that were getting off by controlling the outcomes or the narratives for others were powerless. And they're finding that out, as a matter of fact, in real time. Because ain't nobody that was in that energy more powerful than Source. And Source says that we off that. So if you're still trying to impose that regenerative cycle, you're really spinning your own wheels at this point in time. All right, let's just get one more and then we out here. Yeah, this was the intention. Look at this, nine of swords, 8 of swords. Now this is the force of control that wanted to sit in the middle of these energies, keep someone anxious about the future, someone ignorant to their own presence and their possibilities, and it's done. Like we're not even going. Temperance is here, is balancing all of that energy out. Yeah, we're moving forward. It's like literally the flip-flop, the energetic exchange for energies that were moving out of alignment with their power, or taking liberties out of their jurisdiction, or what do I really want to say, like manipulating their power or abusing it, really is what I want to say, to stop any particular thing that was in ordinance with the universal flow. They're going to find themselves in that same position. And there's just really nothing more to say about it until there is a willingness to do something different. Yeah, moving forward while some people are still moving backwards in this lustful Knight of Wands energy, still looking to satisfy their carnal and primal sensations, while otherwise some have conquered the imbalance of that primal and spiritual self enough to have successfully, be successfully moving forward from it, to be moving forward from that imbalance. Been there, done that type of energy, while some people are still trying to figure it out on the battlefield. And honey, this battlefield is not the place. It was a far more graceful space, even at this point in time, when all these shenanigans was going on, to find yourself. But the battlefield as it is now is brutal. And if you don't go out there in the right type of armor, you will be man down. And being overly ambitious, lustful, this is, again, lack of self-control in this energy, what I'm picking up now. That's a self-sabotaging offense and defense at this time. Doesn't stand a chance. So y'all keep on going ahead now. The wisdom in this full moon energy is to really consider the receipts of what has been working for you, honestly. Because if the intention was to put someone down and out for the count, and that has not happened, then there needs to be a reconsideration of the intention and the motives and even the plan of action. Not to come back again to the, over and over looking for a different result with that insanity, but to do something different. Like, as I said in the message, it's the best point of change is really to just invest in yourself at this time. Where is it that you get to improve or care for self in a way that will be forwarding for your life, not trying to put somebody else down or set somebody else back so that you can step on their back, literally. That's not it no more. It never really was, but it certainly isn't now. And this full moon is potent enough, I feel, that if it's illuminating all, it's all this exposure is coming through in ways that, to be honest, a lot of it doesn't even really make sense to me right now, but it makes sense to source for it to be coming out the way that it is. So that means that you're already exposed, in the worst light. You might as well be intentional about finding your way to the best light at this point in time. Like I said in the message, temperance is key. Balance and self-control. So anyway, not really the anticipation of a full moon message that I was hoping for. It was kind of like janky to me, to be honest with you. But hopefully there's something that resonates or doesn't, that you're resonating more with the higher frequency of this message than the lower one. But for whatever reason, this is what it is, and I'll leave it as it is. Receive it as you will. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.